I love early morning times when my family is still asleep. This is when I get up and I hear from God. This is when I get up, when I get in the face of God, and I want to hear what He has to say about me. I want to experience Him comforting me and Him sharing with me His secrets and Him revealing His plans for my life and His viewpoint over situations, His strategies and battle plans for battles that I'm fighting. And I put my faith in Him. The enemy has battle plans. The enemy has strategies. The enemy has plans and purposes for our lives. When we see them coming to pass, when we discern what they are over our marriage, over our children, over our finances, over our body, over our future, and we fear them, it is like putting faith in them. Fear is like the same type of currency as faith. There is power. There is permission. When we have faith in God's word, when we have faith in God's plans, we are giving Him permission to bring those plans about. When we have faith in what God says about us, we are giving ourselves permission to act in a way that we were designed to act in order to co-create with God in our lives outcomes that are part of His vision, part of His prophetic strategy for our lives. When we put our fear, when we fear, we come into agreement with Satan. When we have faith, we come into agreement with God. Fear and faith are like the same type of currency. They both have power. They both enable either God or Satan to bring about their plans and purposes for our lives. And so it's very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful when you hear from the enemy, when you perceive what the enemy is doing, when you comprehend what plans and purposes he has in your life, not to put fear in them, because when you fear them, that's like believing them. You do not want to sign that check. You don't want to sign off on that. You do not want to sign off on demonic plans for your life. When you put your faith in God, it's like there's a heavenly bank account and you are writing checks for your future. You are writing and cashing checks for what God is going to do, and He will bring it to pass. When you put your fear in Satan, you are literally, he has a bank account. He has things that he wants to deposit in our lives. And when we sign those things with our fear, we receive those things. When we sign off on those things by our fear, we empower Satan to bring those things about in our lives. When we believe what he says about us, when we are afraid that we're not good enough, when we are afraid that God's grace is not sufficient, when we are afraid that people aren't going to like us, when we are afraid that we are not going to succeed, when we are afraid, we are empowering those things that Satan has planted in our lives. We are fertilizing them. We are causing them to grow. We are causing them to come into fruition in our lives. Friends, we have authority. God has given us authority to operate in His power in the earth. Adam and Eve gave away that authority to Satan, and we don't have to do that. We can make a choice because of what Jesus Christ did. We can choose life. God says, I set before you life and death. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. Choose faith, my friends. Choose to believe the Lord and reject the lies of the devil. Choose to come into agreement with God's plans, God's purposes, God's ideas and vision and prophetic destiny of your life, and choose to see yourself the way God sees you, and your life will change.